Orlando Brown is back with more jaw-dropping claims, this time dragging Wack 104 Extra into the mix. According to Orlando, Wack 100 personally warned him to steer clear of 4 Extra due to his gang affiliations, and with whispers of the feds quietly building a RICO case behind the scenes, things are looking real messy for everybody involved. As you could see, things are heating up again in the world of Orlando Brown, and this time, it's got Wack 104 Extra's names written all over it. Orlando and 4 Extra had that wild podcast moment that turned into a full-on shouting match. That wasn't no clout-chasing skit either.
No, Kiki Palmer, I can't leave.
Who you call?
Kiki. You gonna slap me?
Even just calling him a woman's name.
Slap me.
What's wrong with you? Beat me up. I don't want to f you up, kid. Don't play with me. Get the pictures. What the f wrong with you?
Oh my God.
I'm not. Nigga, I'm about to slap this nigga.
It got real quick, with gang talk being thrown around and a whole lot of tension in the room. Bloods, Crips, LA politics, all that messy street energy was in the mix.
That's weird. That's weird, blood.
Look, see, I'm not up. See, look.
I'm not cripping.
See,
I'll be cripping crying.
But Orlando used the opportunity to expose 4 Extra on camera. That interview had tension thick enough to cut with a knife, and it was all fueled by Orlando's unpredictable energy. You could tell from the moment they locked eyes, this wasn't gonna be a chill conversation. They were going back and forth over who's really about that life, throwing shade about gang affiliations, personal pasts, and who's got real street clout. Now, Orlando didn't hold back. He kept mocking 4 Extra about his gang background, cracking jokes about DPs, and even calling out whether 4 Extra could hang with his own people. He kept saying stuff like, "Don't run from your DP," and questioning if 4 Extra could deal with his own so-called gang friends. It was Orlando being Orlando, sarcastic, wild, and low-key genius with the way he kept stirring the pot without ever laying a finger. But here's the thing, Orlando wasn't just being funny. He was playing mind games. One minute he's poking fun, the next he's complimenting 4 Extra, or saying he could be an actor like, "Yo, you don't even need the streets, you could be in movies." It was like he was trying to throw him off mentally, make him second guess the image he's built.
Are you an actor?
Is I'm an actor?
Can you act? Do you think you could actually say, all right, cool, I got this and I got that, when somebody writes something?
Hell yeah.
Man, they're looking for somebody for a house party 6 right now.
Ooh. Oh yeah, I do see another house party.
But the bully.
Is you on there?
But the bully though.
Orlando was clearly baiting him, telling him to hit him, daring him to get physical, all while knowing full well that 4 Extra wasn't gonna risk it with cameras rolling. It was like a masterclass in reverse psychology. Orlando made 4 Extra look like the unstable one just by staying goofy and unpredictable. The energy hit a peak a few times. They both stood up, got in each other's faces, and you could feel a fight was about to pop off, but it never did. Adam and the crew were scrambling to keep the peace, but really, Orlando was running the show. He had 4 Extra reacting, not thinking, and the whole interview turned into a viral moment because of it. In the end, this wasn't just 2 guys arguing. It was Orlando flipping the script on street credibility, turning it into performance art. Whether he meant to or not, he exposed how quickly that tough guy image can crumble under pressure, especially when someone like Orlando starts pressing buttons you didn't even know you had. But it makes you wonder, was Orlando just bluffing, or did he actually have an ace up in his sleeve? Well, here's where things get even spicier. Orlando may have got some intel by none other than Wack 100.
But why are you worried about Wack 100 when you've got Mr. Vernon Avenue himself right in front of you? Focus on the mission at hand.
You gotta think about this.
I have Versace's to put on.
This is the mission.
I have friends to meet.
Some believe Wack warned Orlando ahead of time about 4 Extra's gang ties, and that's why he left like he can make fun of 4 Extra and get away with it. Wack knows the streets, the politics, and he knows how people move around in those streets. But that's not all. Orlando's also hinting that the feds might be quietly building a RICO case tied to 4 Extra. Now, there's no official confirmation of any federal charges against 4 Extra, but Orlando is clearly trying to paint a picture, and the timing of it all is just suspicious, especially when you factor in 4 Extra's parole issues and the way law enforcement has been cracking down on gang affiliations nationwide lately.
Bullshit. Man, indeed, look.
I'm trying to stay where they couldn't see me.
Hey, is that my
So 4xtra is currently on parole because of a serious past conviction. We're not just talking petty charges. This man has a whole record with some heavy stuff, including a bank robbery. And according to court talk, that wasn't even the first time he was in trouble. But his violent history before the robbery was already pretty extensive. He did real time in state prison, not just a short stay in county jail. Now, as for why he's in hot water again, it's all about parole violations, and not just one or two. He's already had at least 3 of them. These aren't new crimes though. They're what's called technical violations. Basically, he didn't commit a new felony, but he broke the rules of his release. Things like being somewhere he's not supposed to be, hanging with the wrong crowd, or not checking in with his parole officer when he's supposed to. All the things that 4xtra did on Hood Day, which is funny because even those around him suspected this could happen. Yet he himself decided he would go to the hood and risk violating his parole. In fact, he announced on No Jumper,
"Y'all coming.
We're coming to Hood Day. 410 is your Hood Day.
4 times 10, but we represent the 6, the 7, and the 8. We represent this whole month.
So the whole first part of the month before the 10th, but the 11th is kind of over.
No. We represent this whole month. Check y'all coming to the set day. 4 times 10. First Avenue, I'm back. Then homie smell like you love it. Vernon Avenue crib, I'm tripping.
And just a few days later, homie was fresh out, still wearing the ankle monitor, and what does he do? He pulls up to Hood Day, knowing good and well the feds got him on radar. Everyone and their mama knew this was a setup. They let 4xtra out right before Hood Day, like clockwork. And what did he do? Walked right into the fire. They knew he wasn't going to be able to resist. Folks just can't seem to stay away from the block, even when the block is the reason you keep ending up in that cell. 4xtra was supposed to do 180 days. They let him out early, 125 days. Why? Because they knew he'd show up at Hood Day. That ankle monitor was basically a homing beacon. They could track his every move. So when he showed up where hundreds of gang members were posted up, boom, parole violation, instant arrest. Again, his people told him to stay home. They offered to bring the hood to him, like drinks, girls, even a fake Lil Hood Day right at the crib. But no, 4xtra had to be seen. That's that I gotta be outside mentality that keeps folks locked up or worse. Speaking of that parole officer, ooh, that relationship is tense. 4xtra feels like he's being watched a little too closely. He claims the officer's been on his neck, reporting him for every little slip-up. In one incident, he was reportedly at a spot, possibly for a music video shoot, and boom, that was enough to trigger a violation. Next thing you know, he's back in court. The judge had to decide whether to revoke his parole or just keep him under tighter watch. There was talk about him needing a solid place to stay and covering the cost of being brought back across state lines. But the decision didn't go all in his favor. The vote wasn't unanimous, and they ended up denying his parole. So now he's got to wait it out and reapply. 4xtra's stuck in a messy situation. His past is still chasing him, and every little move is being scrutinized. Whether he's being unfairly targeted or just can't stay within the lines, he's got to play it real smart if he wants another shot at freedom. And let's not forget, Wack 100's name has come up plenty in conversations about snitching, informants, and federal connections. He's denied it all, of course, but the streets stay talking. So with Orlando now bringing Wack's name into a convo about RICO and gang ties, yeah, this ain't just drama. It's a whole web of speculation, side eyes, and possible setups. Speaking of RICOs, Wack's name came up 6 times in Big U's federal RICO indictment, not as a suspect or defendant, but the fact that the feds name dropped him that many times means they see him as more than just a bystander. His name is tied to gang activity linked to the Rollin 60s Crips, which Big U is connected to, and let's be real, when the feds name you that much in a case that serious, they're watching. Now here's where things get suspicious. Wack went public saying that Adam had been arrested by the feds right after teasing some RICO-related content. Wack didn't just drop the rumor. He went so far as to say he was working behind the scenes trying to get Adam out by 2:30 p.m. That's real specific.
Man, they saying Adam locked up all on the blogs. What's going on?
They came and got him this morning, bro. They doubled back. They came by and we try and have him out because he's supposed to go live today, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to go live at 4 p.m. And the crazy thing is, Adam texted me.
They're going to have him out by like 2:30. If we can get him out by 2:30, he can still make it to the bill.
It's not giving civilian energy. It's giving, I'm in the loop with the people who run the loop. Then it gets messier. Big U, during his own legal mess, accused Wack of being in bed with the feds. He literally said he working with the FBI when he was turning himself in.
And I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about Wack. Wack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff. All of y'all filed. All y'all who be sending around the internet, all y'all who be promoting and listening to what they're saying, all y'all giving these likes and hidden likes, all y'all supporting this. All y'all guilty of this.
That's a big claim coming from a man facing serious federal heat. It doesn't help that Wack always seems to know way too much. He's out here breaking down the details of people's indictments, correcting rumors about motives, and even pointing out what charges the prosecutors are actually pursuing. Why is he moving like a legal analyst? Who gave him the full syllabus? He's also been chiming in on other cases, like the OTF Jam wiretaps, always with details that the average person would not have. It's not even subtle anymore.
There's a guy named OTF Jam.
That was wired.
Very ironic name.
Jam
now he put everyone in a jam.
Did 12 years.
12
got
years.
out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he fled.
And at the same time, Wack is the one telling everyone, this ain't got nothing to do with me. But if it truly has nothing to do with you, why do you keep popping up with exclusive behind-the-scenes info? Why do you have transcripts? Why are you naming names? Now, to be fair, there's no official label on Wack that says he's cooperating with the feds. No court has said he's an informant. He denies it every chance he gets. But when you're accused by someone like Big U, publicly revealing case details before they hit the blogs, and talking to agents behind the scenes, something ain't right. And people aren't just going off vibes, they're pointing to leaked info, court documents, and consistent behavior. So here's where the speculation kicks in. Either Wack is heavily connected to people inside these investigations and is acting like some kind of middleman, or he really is cooperating in ways that don't look obvious. Maybe he's not on paper as a snitch, but the way he's moving has the public questioning his whole role in this drama. He's denying everything, but still revealing more than people actually involved. And that contradiction, it's got folks thinking there's more to his story. The deeper you look into it, the more it starts to feel like being too close to Wack 100 is like walking around with a flashing red target on your back. Wack is always in some legal mess, and not just regular mess, federal level mess. The feds already name-dropped him 6 times in Big U's RICO indictment, and he's been publicly tied to people like Keith D, who's literally facing life for his alleged role in Tupac's murder. That kind of proximity brings serious heat. If you're a rapper or affiliated gang member hanging around Wack, you might not even be on law enforcement's radar until you're seen with him. Suddenly, you're in the group chat with the feds, and they're watching your every move. But it gets deeper. Wack talks way too much on social media. Whether he's exposing street beef, breaking down how RICO cases work, or making claims about other people being arrested, the feds are tuned in. They do monitor these platforms, and every comment, post, or live stream becomes a breadcrumb they can follow. So when Wack's out here name-dropping and giving play-by-plays, he might be unintentionally, and some say intentionally, serving people up on a platter. Now let's talk evidence. The feds have been using rap lyrics and social media posts to build their cases for years now. So when Wack is involved in drama with artists or stirring up beefs, anything those artists say, whether it's a diss track or an IG rant, can end up in the courtroom. Prosecutors will take that content, pair it with Wack's connections, and spin it into a narrative about organized criminal behavior. And since RICO only needs a pattern, they don't need to prove you pulled the trigger, just that you were part of the team. Then there's the whole issue of gang enhancement. If you're in California and you catch a charge while being seen as affiliated with someone like Wack, prosecutors can slap extra years on top of your sentence just because of who you're linked to. And with Wack's name being connected to serious street figures and known enterprises, anyone caught in that web is gonna feel the blowback. It's also wild how his financial moves can get others roped in. For example, he allegedly tried to help post Keith D's bail. Now imagine being tied to that money trail. Under RICO, even sending cash or doing favors can count as conspiracy. So if you're doing business with Wack, whether it's music, security, or just being around, there's a risk that you get named just for being in the mix.
Listen, Wack has now said that Yo Gotti's next.
Gotti, say your prayers. You better say your prayers.
You know they coming, don't you? You know they coming.
Hey,
bro.
Hey, bro, that got up there and said, they said, didn't CMG pay for your attorney $50,000? Yeah. But they didn't give it to me. He said, yeah. But they paid for it because you off, right? Yeah. Well, that was your compensation, right? CMG said, well, yeah, they gave the attorney $50,000. Yeah, because I killed off. You dead. He was the exec of that company. That's your brother. That's finna get That's next. Watch. Remember I told you.
And look at how he provokes people. He's out here publicly warning rappers like Yo Gotti that they're next up for a RICO. That kind of pressure makes people panic, and panicking gets people caught slipping. One wrong move, one threatening DM, and suddenly you're facing obstruction or intimidation charges. So to keep it all the way real, being associated with Wack 100 is like standing in the middle of a storm holding a lightning rod. Even if you're not the one doing dirt, his proximity to active federal cases, his tendency to overshare online, and the way prosecutors use everything around him to build stories puts everyone around him in danger. The law sees patterns, not individuals, and Wack is a walking pattern. Now, do you think Wack is working with the feds, or is he just incredibly messy with way too much access? And who else do you think might be tied up in this web behind the scenes? Let's talk about it.